what's gonna be like your situation with this task, because from what I know, not everyone is attending a school 5 days a week. Some of you used to have like a practicum before. It was like a month, but right now you're going back to like regular lessons and all that. And those of you who are in 7 semesters, you are supposed to be working with a whole class during the whole academic year. So that would be the ideal thing to perform this task. So I'll talk about it later. Let me just prepare my presentation and then we'll start. Give me one extra second because I need to check who is here in the class for today's Teams. Guardo. I'm coming. Cynthia, Beth, Luis Fernando, Kitsia, and Luis, and Adrian, and I have Daphne, and I have Eric, and I have Vanessa, and I have Maria de Jesus, Mariana. And I have he's not here. Sorry, I was just organizing some teams. Let me just share the teams you will going to be working with today, and it's just for educational purposes and matters. Oh, geez. So yeah, we're gonna have some like short activities based on the topic we're going to be working with today, and our final topic and activities are about creating the correct atmosphere in your classes, using some special activities as energizers and warmers and all that. Hope you can find them useful. But these are going to be the teams we're going to be working with today. We have 4 teams. So just keep that in mind when it comes the time to organize yourselves for the work. Okay. Team 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to be the management for today. wait up, and I'll let you know what are you going to do with your team later on. So welcome back. This is our final session from foundational skills for the English language teaching. It's going to be our lesson number 4, and the outcome of this course will be to ask you to perform some of these, whether are activities or techniques or approaches you have seen so far that can be quite useful when we're talking about the CLT, the communicative language teaching side of our practice. And something that it's quite important for us to understand is maybe this type of courses are like a light in the middle of something of like the whole chaos that we could have been dealing with or working with in our schools or in our escuelas normales. Stress is part of it, like being in 7th semester or finding a school to perform your practicum. And in the middle of that whole chaos and mess, it is maybe important, or maybe it is quite valuable, if you and me, we take the time to acknowledge or to identify like the main reasons or the roots of the English teaching practice. And I think when you feel like you have learned something about um, theories and teaching methods, and how is it that the whole job and the whole amount of work that you perform in front of a class, like each and every part of that, it has a name, it has been researched by someone else, it has been published in another year, in another school, in another country. And perhaps that can give you the sense or the idea that you are part of something bigger than just going to your practicas or going to your escuela normal and just being an English teacher. um, I think it relies on that, having the foundational skills to call yourself an English teacher. It's quite massive. It's quite big, but I think we have done like a quite excellent job here, because um, like the main part of this was like to being able to communicate with you in the L2, and I think we managed to do that. I think the fluency and the dialogue and the communication that we created here, it has helped us to identify the bigger picture of what uh, language teaching is. So thank you for that. That was my brief commercial. Today, it's about the English language teaching, and we're going to talk about a term or a new side of the L2 teaching that it's called brain states. And brain states, it's basically like the whole, the recent amount of studies and theories and approaches and researches that have come to the idea that neuroscience has to do something or maybe everything with the teaching practice. And all of these people, what are they saying is that neuroscience is not part of the teaching training schools. Neuroscience is not part in a wider range of the all the information and the knowledge and the training that teachers are getting in, for example, escuelas normales. So to being able to identify or to understand just in a simple general way how the brain works, for our students, for us, and what is it that we are dealing with at the moment of being in front of a class, and maybe stop asking ourselves why this type of activities or why my classes are not developing in the way that I want, or why my lesson plan is not taking the path or the way that I was looking for. Well, maybe it is quite important to understand what's going on with your audience or with your class, talking about brain work and talking about the neurology side of it. We're not doctors, but we are educating people, we are forming people, we are training people, and 100% of our personality, our core values, or our emotions, our feelings reflect in our teaching practice. So since it is a job that is face to face, human being to human being, I think it's quite important to acknowledge that the person that is going to be in front of me is receiving a lot of information from me, is being placed or being asked to perform or to do certain things. But me, as a teacher, have I asked myself, is it taking me anywhere? Or what's going to happen once my students will be reflecting or working or trying to perform on any specific task? But I'm not talking about what's going to happen with them, maybe about disruption management or class management or time management. I'm talking about what's going to happen in their brains, what's going to happen with their whole persona being involved in the class. Would I be able to attack or to establish like a peak or like a spam of attention for them? And the other question will be, can I manage to do this with a preschool audience, with an elementary audience, with a junior high audience, with a university audience? So it is quite important then to reflect what's the difference or how attention works between preschool students, and maybe what's the difference from high school or junior high students. Perhaps might not be the same attention span, but there are some similarities. Sorry for the background noise. It's I assume there are some pilgrimages happening at the moment. You know, the pilgrims for the December 12th festivity of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So that's going on outside. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so I was telling you brain states, how to use energizers and tics to create your ideal ESL atmosphere. That's going to be the topic for us today. And I will be presenting to you some of the energizers that I have used in my lessons. Hopefully, they will be useful for you as well. I will try to explain as well what is an energizer in a very brief and short way. And also, tics right now are quite important to make of our practicum something exciting, something different, and I think we can do that. Let's move on then. So the first question that I'm asking you, what does the brain have to do with my teaching? This is a question that I hope each and every one of you standing right there in front of your computer or your phones, think about it. What does the brain of my students, of course, and mind, have to do with my teaching? Is it my responsibility? Am I command to, or is it something compulsory? Is a teacher supposed to be informed or well aware of on how the brain works when he's receiving information? It's a teacher's responsibility to understand that the brain works probably 100% better maybe after 10 a.m. in the morning, and maybe 7 a.m. in the morning is not the best option or the best scenario to receive information. Think about it. Are we obligated to know this information? Are you going to receive it in a very specific, well explained um, way during a considerable time in your teaching training? The answer probably is no. Some of you have passed through that subject that is called neurociencia en la educación, because it's based on the 2018 syllabus. But I think it was just like a glimpse. For those of you who are in fifth semester, I think right now it's part of your training. And for those of you who are in seventh semester, I think you have passed that subject. So can you recall something from that? Can you share something with the class? Those of you who are in seventh semester, do you remember anything from this subject? Anyone?
Can I, teacher?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I remember that the brain must have um, to be in a challenging environment, because with the challenge we stimulate to the learner to face the learning, and with this challenging that have the student, we are engaging him or engaging her to get involved with the learning and idea, and obviously in our case the language that is English. And probably this looks for us like a challenge, but for them it's like a game that they are facing for a first instance, but then it can be useful for them because they know about the language, and after that they use this information to create their schemata, and then use this information for more difficult tasks, and with this task we can improve their learning.
Thanks a lot, Ivan. That's like the whole syllabus that you mentioned here. Um, I remember. I'm taking some of the information you share right now. I remember being at my escuela normal, and to be honest, I mean, I think I was in the 1999 syllabus. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm not that old. Like, I finished my school in 2010. It's been like 10 years. It's not that long. Um, I didn't have this type of subjects. I didn't have this type of training when I was preparing myself to be a teacher. And I have this quite clear because from my perspective and what was expected from us as teacher trainees was like our goal will be just to finish the syllabus in our practicum and to know and to understand that a well written, clean, organized notebook from your students and a well performed, checked, accurate, elaborated textbook with all the exercises that will make you a successful teacher and that will make your students a successful student, a successful class. So I'm taking the word that you mentioned, the word challenge. That was a challenge before, like only performing something that was written already, that was model for us, that was created by some other teachers, but not the ones who were working with the class. And I'm mentioning this because I want you to reflect on that. Just take a look. I mean, the difference between you and me, it's 10 years. And the approach and the whole idea about teaching, it indeed has changed a lot. It has changed since the point of view that a teacher's job is not to facilitate or to detonate just like a textbook and a written activity. It goes beyond that. And at the same time, Ivan, I don't know if you agree with me on this or not. For you, as future teachers, I think it's something more complex right now. And you guys are not working with the same type of students that I used to work before during my practicum. I have a question for you, Ivan. What do you think is the most obvious or the most tangible visual difference, maybe talking about students right now in junior high or elementary, and the difference between them and same students but 10 years ago?
Well, maybe the environment or more or less, I think that in this moment, the difference is that we as students we lived in a specific time where wasn't it a pandemic, and now we are working with students that have passed for a pandemic moment, and they changed different. They didn't learn the ethic, moral, and educational learning as the better way as we learned in my case. For example, that they were in home, they didn't have the opportunity to stay with partners, to engage with teachers, to have this interaction between persons. And obviously, they are, well, talking about from kindergarten, primary school, and secondary school. We in these specific times, the students are learning how to grow up. So if we took this information to specify that they didn't learn as must have to be, they didn't have the necessary elements to grow up as we grow up in our time. I think that is the difference, the conditions that we lived in the past, because these students have passed for the pandemic, and this situation has changed many things in them. Because for example, in Toluca, many people of we're talking about my students, many of
Yes.
them lost a lot of persons, lost family, lost partners, the fathers, the couple. So there are interesting situations here in Toluca with about talking about the people that has that. And my learners express this situation when they are in the school. They looks like tired, like bored, and they express these emotions because they don't have the necessary elements to express with the idea, with the speech, to talk and say that they are sad. They express with this attitude their sadness, and obviously you can notice that we didn't live the same situation. So it's more difficult now treat with the students because they have passed for terrible situations during the pandemic.
Got it. And you know what? I would also say that perhaps it's like the amount of external input. Like there is like a whole phenomenon or on over stimulation from everywhere, from from a cell phone, from television, from YouTube. Like right, I think right now information it's there for young learners. It's there for young people. And I was thinking that the other day, like what would have what would have been the case or the my experience during my high school or my secondary school if I would have been involved or close to social media, like talking about all this struggle about your physical image and your emotions and you know making friendships and all that. I think it's also that there is like an um, unnecessary amount of information that these young people are receiving all the time, and I think that that makes it more like complicated. And for us as teachers, I think that's like the biggest challenge so far. How can you compensate the idea or the fact that these kids are coming from homes where there are people who's not longer sitting at the table, and how can you integrate that into an English class? Because if we talk about the practicum, the real task that you have to go to the schools and do, well, you have to keep moving on your work because you want to be an English teacher. You have to prepare your work. You have to prepare your lesson plans. I'm sorry, but I appreciate what you're saying. Like, there's a whole reality and there's a real scenario that if we want to call ourselves teachers, we're not supposed to like look back and pretend nothing is going on, right? Like, there has to be a way to include that into your practice. Thank you, Ivan. Somebody else recalls something from these subjects or these courses that you took, perhaps? I'm not sure if it is fifth semester or fourth semester. I'm talking about the bachelor's degree in English from escuelas normales, but maybe in licenciatura primaria or maybe licenciatura preescolar, you have taken this type of subjects before. Anyone else? No? All right. Well, let's continue then. Thanks for your answers, Ivan. So, something that Ivan was mentioning at the beginning of his answer, it's the word engagement. Engagement is something, and it's a word that it's quite necessary to have in mind during our work in front of a class. Um, Personally, something that I find quite difficult when I used to work as a secondary teacher teaching English was the challenge and the idea of having to create or needed to write a lesson plan that was well conducted, that was well structured, and that would be readable for my principal or my supervisor. But at the same time, the challenge for me was like most of the time I would end up doing not maybe like 30 or 40% of the activities that I was writing on the lesson plan. And that for me was always an issue or a problem, because I started to feel quite insecure about my teaching practice, because I was feeling like I was only like pretending to teach, and the final outcome on my mind, the ideal scenario of my class was not happening. There was like a whole different idea happening right in front of my eyes, and it was not the thing that I wanted to obtain or to create during my lessons. And the word engagement came to me like 2 years later, after I graduated from my escuela normal, and it was thanks to one of my, well, I think she was like the only one, my mentor in during my university years. She was this um, translate teacher from UNAM. She was really good. She was born in Arkansas in the United States, and during my university years, she will be always like not attacking me, but like telling me and making me feel quite small about my pronunciation, my teaching practice. Not in a bad way, but just in a very real and straightforward way. And some days that will be like a lot, but at the end of the day, it worked for me. Going back to the story, I ran into her because we became colleagues. I was working at Universidad Tecnológica de La Laguna, here in La Laguna. And I was hired as an English teacher, but I was hired to teach computer science and to teach maths to engineers, well, to future engineers. And there was like a whole program, like a, a boot camp program in order to have these students that wanted to become bilingual engineers, to have them during a whole semester taking English lessons from 7 to 2 p.m. and then having maths in English as well. So they came for me to work in that university came along, and I was really struggling to mm, finding the way to incorporate English into the movie or the idea of these young people that will be telling me all the time, like, you know what, I don't even care, or I don't even know how is it that if I wanted to become an engineer, you're supposed to be here and talk to me in English for 5 hours straight. Like, I don't get it, I don't like it, but I have to do it because I want this to be my, well, my university. Like, I want to get the major from here, so I'll do it. So that was even worse because I was not having students like perhaps distracted or absent. I was having people that was quite committed to show to the class and to show to the work every day, but there was like a whole apathetic mood, or like a very lack of validation to my work in front of them, and I struggle a lot to find myself again during this time of my teaching experience. So that's when I cross paths again with Sarita. That's how I call her. And she told me something about engagement. And she said to me, you know what? Uh, Forget about the idea that these kids feel the same way about you, about language, and just step aside, take a look to the big picture, and see if from what they are trying to obtain or what they're trying to get from this career, from this university, if there is something from that point of view that maybe you and your lessons will be useful or attractive or will be uh, taken into account for them. If there is like a tiny glimpse, something, it doesn't matter, like, it's something really, really small, something that you can check or identify that will make a click for them, because these kids, they want to go and work in these huge companies, they want to go mining because there was like a whole different bachelor of mining and international affairs and all that. So my struggle was, what am I going to do during these lessons to stop teaching and working as I was used to do it, and trying to find something different? And that's when the term engagement came to me in a very different way. Engagement has to do everything with motivation, and motivation is not going to be always something that relates to you. Motivation is not going to be something that you as a teacher will find useful or attractive, because perhaps your students won't find it like that, or perhaps your students want to approach the language in a very different way that you want them to approach. And that was the case in this university. These kids, these students, they didn't want me, and they didn't want the class to become a whole cultural experiment, interchange, creating conversations, blah 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 class. They wanted to be prepared, and they wanted to feel more confident about being able to go out there and what? Applying for a job opportunity, identifying or understanding a manual from a specific machine or device in their jobs, talking through a conference meeting. So that was the case. It took me few time, some time, but I found the way to get that. And I have to left all my school supplies aside, like my photocopies and my colors and my crayons and this like whole didactic normalista way to approach to the language. And I needed to find something different, and I found it, but it took me some time. But the word that that stood with me all the time was the word engagement. So what is engagement? Eric Jensen in 2009 defines engagement as any strategy that gets students to participate emotionally, cognitively, or behaviorally. The goal of teachers should be all three. And if you remember from this quote or from this statement from Eric Jensen, it has to do everything from what we recall and what we checked the last session about the types of theories uh, related to the communicative language teaching that was behaviorism and conductism. Um, so engagement is a strategy that has tiny slices and tiny parts from a whole thing. And that whole thing involves a lot of learning theories like Jean Piaget and Vygotsky and Brunner and Chomsky. We might not notice it when we are using it in the lesson plan, but it is there because humans, most of the time, when it comes to a learning situation, we tend to react in the same way. Student engagement means paying attention, which must be thought, involving themselves in learning with effort, participating, setting goals, taking ownership of their learning, and identifying the purpose. Identifying the purpose. That has to be something relevant for your kids. Think about anything. Something relevant for a secondary kiddo might be something about, well, at least I'm able to understand that song from that rapper that I listen to every day. Or, whoa, perhaps with this vocabulary, I'm able to play in a better way these whole video games and these whole words that I didn't get before. And now they're helping me to stay connected and make friends from other sides of the country or other parts of the world. I don't know. Charlotte Danielson in 2007, she refers to engagement as hands on, minds on. So at the end of the day, and something that Ivan was mentioning before is that there is a problem right now. Something happened because suddenly from day to night, you put students, you took students out of school and you put them in front of a screen. And as a magical number, right now you are expecting them to know and to understand and to being able to perform all these tasks as the last 2 years would have been the same as going to a school every day. And it wasn't. It didn't happen like that. So Charlotte Danielson says if there's going to be engagement, if you are calling yourself a teacher that uses engagement in his or her class, you just make sure of two things. Your kids are moving and their minds are moving. That's it. If you don't have those two elements, according to Charlotte Danielson, well, it's not engagement then. It's something else, but it's not engagement. Students must think about what they are learning and they must be involved in an active way in order to be engaged. This is a question that you will be listening to, and I will be listening to every time I go to a conference, to an event, something related to teaching. Like, your kids, your students, they have to be involved, they have to be active. Okay, but let's talk about activeness. Like, what's the prototype of an active student? Because didn't you say, like, well, not me, all these people and these researchers that will be asking you to active your students will be the same people that at the end of the day will be telling you to take into account and to pay attention to the emotional side and the emotional matter of your students. So, what about that? What about your introvert students? What about those students who don't like the spotlight, who are quite comfortable learning and creating and working, but from line D? I mean, I get it. The ones that you have in front, that's okay. That's always like a good and quite warm reflection for us as a teachers, to have those type of students who are always in the ground field, who are always team A. But what about the rest? Like, to have active students, what does it mean at the end of the day? Going back to the term of engagement, it means to have active students is to have active minds. And to have active minds, well, as a teacher, you do are expected to learn or to understand, not in 100% way, not from a medical point of view, but you do are required to understand a bit or to keep looking for training or information about how the brain works, because it's all about that. What are engaging strategies then? Engaging strategies target the attention of the learner while doing what is best for the brain. Engaged teachers keep in mind how the brain learns while keeping the student's attention and motivation at an increased level. In other words, if you are well aware of your engaging atmosphere, you know for a fact that the goal of your lesson plan is to leave your students no space for disruption or distraction of on anything but your class. And it's quite easy to identify those type of classes or those type of teachers, because it's something like it changes from here and then they go there and then they do this and then this one and then next, and we go on, we go back and so on. So I was thinking about the way this made me feel about my teaching practice in secondary, and I would feel like that, like, you know what, I have like prepared like a whole interesting massive state of the art lesson plan, and there's no way you, my students, will be able to do anything else but what I am asking you to do, because it's going to be such an incredible or amazing amount of activities that when you realize 30 minutes will be gone, and then you will have 15 minutes to do a final outcome. And that will happen to me most of the times. Like, my God, teacher, is it time already? Was the bell ringing already? Is the class over already? Because I was always expecting or receiving this type of feedback, like, we need more time. We didn't even realize we did all these things during the lesson. That's what I would call engaging atmosphere. So, talking about engaging strategies, this will be one of my favorites. And what I did for today's lesson is just that I took maybe three or two or three of my favorite ones to recall this type of topic. I mean, this type of activities, and I hope you like it. So let's put this into practice. For this activity that you are going to perform with me, we're going to create, or the task will be to create a collaborative vocabulary list. Can be any topic, but my task will be later show on. You're gonna need a team organizer, the one that I have showed to you before. You're gonna need a topic or a possible topic for your lesson plan. Just take that topic into account when it comes to preparing this activity. In this occasion, I am using Jamboard, but Jamboard, it's basically not being able to be with you face to face. So we're using Jamboard as an option for a missing physical board and you guys in a classroom with me and some markers. So it's going to be the same. And yeah, like the mood or the emotion during the activity, of course it is competition, and of course it is being able to prove something, and of course it is the feeling of being seen from the others and receiving some sort of approval, or like teamwork, or like sorority, or like uh, collaborative inputs. That's the objective. That's the engaging part of the activity that I'm sure will keep my students doing this. Okay, so let's do it then. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna send you a link. All right. Let me go to the video call and I'm gonna send it here on the chat. There it is. So once you give it a click on this Jamboard, you guys will be able to stay in something like this, or you will be watching, or yes, you will be presented to this cover. So I'm just gonna wait for the rest to access. Let me know if you're having trouble to access.
Teacher,
Yes.
and the link that you sent to us, it's just for viewer and not for editor.
Oh, let me just correct it over here. And then I think it's done. Can you check?
Ready, teacher. Thank you.
I got it. Thank you. All right, so let me just. I think most of you are in the board. So this will be like a typical engaging initial activity that I will perform with my students, and the main reason to perform this and to present this will be the engaging part at the beginning of the lesson. That would be for me like, let me put it into one word: euphoria. Like having your kids hysterical about this task. So yeah, what I, I think some of you have done it. So if you remember that I made some teams like this, team number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, so those are going to be your teams. These sections of the board will be placed on the board in the classroom, and I will make 4 columns. And when I say 3, 2, 1, the task for each team is to take a look to the title of the vocabulary, and you have to complete a list of 15 things that are red. And of course, you as a teacher will set a timer. All right. So come on, let's see who can finish it first. Oh, I thought I wrote Apple. I thought it was mine. I'm sorry. I don't know who wrote Apple. I'm so sorry. I thought it was my word, my example.
Teacher,
Yes.
teacher, uh, how can I write in the screen?
You, you can give it a click on the left side. You have like all these tools. Take a look. You can use like this post over here, like nota adhesiva, and then you
Uh,
can add it, or you can give it a click on the text box that you here, and
because
then you start.
that things doesn't appear in my screen, teacher.
You don't have them?
Mm-mm.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, teacher, I can screen.
Are you accessing from your phones?
No, teacher, I am on my computer.
And are you inside a tag in your Gmail account? ¿Estás dentro de tu cuenta de Gmail?
Yes, y me dice que solamente puedo verlo.
Mm, okay.
Are you in your computer?
Yes.
I
You
was
just
asking
need
her the
to
same thing.
refresh. Just refresh the page and
A ver.
Oh, perhaps because I changed the setting from viewing to editing, and you stood on the same tag. Maybe if you refresh it, it will be able to work on the tools.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, teacher, I already worked.
All right. Okay, team 2. We have the winners. Apples, radish, poinsettia flower. What, Mr. Crab? What's Mr. Crab? Oh, well, Mr. Crab, of course. Oh my God, this is such a good one. Actually, this one. This this I love. This one particularly. Taylor Swift scarf, grenades, a buck, a strawberry, tent hat, roses, tomato, scarf, dress, and cars. An apple and blood and lipstick, strawberry, Rudolph nose. This one was very creative. Jamaica. Well, we don't say Jamaica. Jamaica is a country, but there is a word that starts with H. Look for it. Something about hibiscus word, but it's not Jamaica. Jamaica is a country. Cheetos. What Cheetos? There are no red Cheetos.
Flaming hot.
Oh, okay. Flaming hot. Adobe. Okay. Tootsie Pop. Got it. Ladybug, books, lipstick. One. Okay. Uh, okay. This one is not. Pachuca Dunes. Oh, I never heard of those. Acne. Acne. Is it? Well, yeah. It's red, of course. Sweater, sofa, Mars, ruby, red, coral, lobster, crab, watermelon in the inside. Yes. Ketchup, cherry, Elmo, an ant, lipstick, books, a hot, watermelon, cell phones, Christmas stuffs. I have no idea what is this. Mushrooms.
Un tuneado, teacher.
Oh, I get it. It's a contraction. Oh, okay. Thank you. Tuneao. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Apples, radish, poinsettia flower, Mr. Crab, grenades, cause, a bug, cherry, the, the demon. Which demon? If you're writing about a demon, we need the name of the demon. If you're talking about the highest demon of all time, you will be talking about the devil. So that's different. Strawberry, Santa's hat, cars, roses, tomato, scarf, dress. Híjole, el 3 está complejo, ¿eh? Oh, yes, Netflix logo, of course. The Tootsie Pop, a hot, home, strawberries. I have no idea what's going on there. Strawberries, cherry, Adobe Rock. Cherries is repeated with cherry. Pachuca Dunes, blood, poinsettia, apples, acne, tomato, roses, cherry, Google recording, sweater, sofa, Mars, ruby, red, coral, lobster, crab, ladybug, very nice, watermelon, a heart, pepperoni, my favorite. I have to say, people, team number one will be the winner. Team number one. So congratulations to Vanessa, Luis Fernando, Diana, Maria del Carmen, Eric, and Cynthia Eribeth. Very nice. Well done. You did very, very good. And you know what? I think it was like the most organized input on the column. Number 3 is quite messy. So let's do this.
In number 3, please don't use the pencil.
Okay. Number 3 is like a whole challenge, but congratulations. This will be like first place. Yes, very nice. I will say that there is a match between number 2 and number 4. This looks nice. And number 3, okay, we have this looks nice as well. Dude, you have repeated words. Tienen palabras repetidas. Cherries and cherry. Like, come on, it's the same food. And what's flaming Cheetos? Flaming with an L. Flaming Cheetos. Tootsie Pop. Okay. Roses, chilled. Beetroot, of course. Favorite. Induced. Perfect. So this, going back to, well, there are some of you still drawing over here. Let's go back to, I want to hear this. Quiero que me lean la lista. Okay, team number 1. Vanessa, can you read your words, please? Your winning words.
Yes, teacher. Elmo, ketchup, and lipstick, cherry.
Lipstick. Okay, can you read the entire list?
Okay. And red pepper, red hot chili peppers, mushrooms, Surutuneo, Christmas stuffs, and cell phones, McQueen,
Okay,
Ticate
wait
Rojo.
a second. Wait a second. What is McQueen?
En Rayo
McQueen's
McQueen.
a car, it's a
Rayo
movie.
McQueen, teacher, el
Oh, you
Fiau,
got it.
va rápido.
Disney, of course. Yes. Go on. Continue.
Okay. Um, Heart,
Yeah.
box, no sé cómo se dice granada, I'm sorry.
Grenades. Yes, grenades.
Okay, grenades, Elmo, cherry, ketchup, and the last one is watermelon and tecate rojo.
Tecate rojo. Are you serious?
Oh my god, it's tech, it rojo.
All right. I just have a question, people. A grenade? Okay. This is a grenade. It's like a mechanism bomb that is something like this. This is a grenade. Now, the fruit that is something like this is a pomegranate. So that's different. Okay, just for your information. Thank you very much, Vanessa. You're the winning team. And let's give it a round of applause for all of the other teams. Well done, well done. I'll let you know my favorites. The most creative one, I think, Netflix logo, like, come on, yes. Rudolph knows. This was a very good option. What else? Pachuca Dunes, like, I have never seen Pachuca Dunes in this color, but I believe you. This is my favorite as well. Taylor Swift scarf. Very nice. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Rude. This is a really good band. Come on, people. Surutu now. Give me the English term for that, and it will be okay. All right. Thank you, class. Thank you for participating on this. Let's go back then to our topic. So what we were recalling are as engaging strategies. It's like keep the brain learning all the time, because we were creating words from your background and your previous knowledge from all of the class. So that's quite visual as well for all of the class. And besides on that, some of you were already working, not knowing like the whole idea or the instructions and all that. And don't take that wrong. Cuando les pase eso en sus clases, que los chicos ya estén acelerados, estén desarrollando la actividad y todo, you know what? Go ahead. Like, I mean, they're in it. I mean, you managed to have them there. Ya lograste tenerlos ahí en la clase, so what are you stopping them? Don't become those type of teachers like, wait a second, I haven't even said the instructions, like, sit down, be quiet. No, like, come on, people. Your classroom is supposed to be messy because it's a communicative environment. So let the games begin. Like, if they are already working and they're competing against each other, so be it. Like, you have their attention span is there for them, and they feel like they have a chance to receive this attention if they are the winning team. So well on that. Let me close the Jamboard. Some of you are still here, and let me check. Yes. Oh God, no. Wait a second. All right, let's continue. Sorry, I was just getting the evidence from the Jamboard. Thank you. There is another part of the brain activity that we place to our students when we are beginning a lesson or we are working on this type of activities, and it has to be, or it has to do something with mind and body. When we talk about brain states, it is often a quote or a phrase that we have to have in mind, as the title says, every time we are pretending or we want to experience engagement in our lesson plans. Mind and body. The body influences the mind, and the mind influences the body. There is no separation between the two. Learning how to apply this is the purpose of this work. When we're talking about engagement and we're talking about activating the brain, if you will have applied this activity in your classroom, you will have this mind and body connection, because let me just tell you this. In the classroom, you will have your students like making a line, and they will be taking turns. So you will have in the team, you will have in a line like Vanessa, Luis Fernando, Diana, Maria del Carmen, Eric, and Cynthia. So they will be like straight up, looking to the board, marker at the spotlight, and you will be like 3, 2, 1, go on. And then Vanessa goes back, Luis Fernando goes back, Diana goes back, Maria goes back. So that's a mind and body connection. The whole euphoria feeling, the whole idea of being part of the team and being on that line and having the challenge right there in the board, it's a lot of excitement. I mean, even you were excited about working on this list right now. Like you were like, okay, come on, we have to finish. Come on, I'll have the time to make a joke. I'll write a surutuneao stuff and all that. And that happens with kids as well when we are in the classroom. So that's part of it. Mind and body. There is a tremendous, or like this wonderful connection between asking your body to move and to approach and to be ready, and your brain is sending all these details and these orders and these commands to your body, so you are prepared for the challenge and you feel part of it, because you see the rest of your classmates doing the same thing, responding in the same way, and you feel part of something. So it goes beyond activating the brain. It has to do something with, as the title says, mind and body. When we talk about mind and body, let us not forget about this whole process: creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. Like, you made a mistake on the word. Come on, go there, change it, erase it, like make the correction. Like, oh, Lupita, you forgot about that. Like, come on, that's with capital letter. Don't forget about the capital letter. Communication, collaboration, critical thinking. Uh, uh, a watermelon. Well, yeah, but our watermelon is red on the inside. Like, is it going to be valid or is not going to be valid? Perhaps inside the team, some of you or the leader will be like, it's not valid. Like externally, it's a green object, so it's not valid. So it comes to that as well. And of course, creativity. I mean, come on, like let's take a look. This is creativity. Like the whole thing. This is creativity, and it's part of your students. So let it be, like, let it stay there. And it's good for your class, and it's good for your mood as well. Like, you get to laugh with your students about it. So keep doing it. All right. As you go on your research and as you approach each and every one of you to the teaching practice of these new students, or this type of students that Ivan was sharing some of that experience with us. There is something that UNESCO, UNICEF, Naciones Unidas, and specifically UNESCO, they came up with this term, I think maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, about the 21st century skills. If you have the chance to, I'm just gonna hold on a second. If you have the chance to read this, les quiero compartir, esto me lo aviento en español porque el documento está en español. Les quiero compartir este documento que ahorita se los hago llegar por WhatsApp. Es de Consejo Británico, abriendo un mundo con potencial, habilidades blandas para el aprendizaje, el trabajo y la sociedad. Es una recapitulación de experiencias de trabajo con técnica, con fundamento y con resultados finales sobre lo que se propone con lo que son las habilidades blandas, capitalizadas o catapultadas en entornos, y esto es lo que se me hizo más interesante, en entornos educativos que son muy, muy, muy complejos, que son en la mayoría de ellos muy similares al tipo de escuelas o al tipo de salones de clase donde estoy seguro que a la mayoría de ustedes les ha tocado participar o les ha tocado practicar. So, I'm just going to do it right now. Lo voy a hacer ahora mismo antes de que se me olvide. Hope you find it useful, especially for your documents, for your research, if you are in the 7th semester. Espero que lo encuentren útil, especialmente si están ahorita en su documento de investigación. It's going to give you a wider idea on 21st century skills. Oh my God, where is it? There it is. I'll leave it to you also in classroom. So now we go with the topic, what are the brain states? Brain states, let me just, okay, yes, it's on. Brain states, as the word refers, it's about a mental being, like the brain is like the physical part of our body, and the mind is like the spiritual, holistic element of us. So this is, when we talk about a brain state, is the physiology state, like the bunch of reactions and the whole bunch of interactions and electricities and I'm not a specialist on this, but the whole thing or movie that is going on inside those cells, that is a state. A state can change, or a state change occurs when something triggers, like detonates, a change in an individual or group that moves them from one emotional or physical condition to another one. The path that I was telling you before, go one after one after one after one in your lesson plans. It's quite treasurable as a student to experience a whole lesson full or filled with a lot of stimulus, interactions, and all this. I think it's quite amazing to experience that. Good teachers, that's why the statement is here. Good teachers are state managers. It means you have the ability to read your audience and to realize what's going on. They intentionally manage the states of learners by altering a situation. Examples of state change can be very obvious, such as taking a water or a snack break. So that would be a state change as well. Like, okay, you know what? Stand up. Let's stretch up. Let's play some music. Do you know the song? Okay, let's sing the first part. Let's go to the chorus. I have a ball here. Catch it. Okay, how are you feeling right now? I'm okay, teacher. Okay, thank you. Pass it out. How are you feeling today? I'm okay, teacher. Okay, pass it out. That will be a changed state of change as well. Teachers intentionally manage the states of learners by altering a situation. Yes, don't forget about that. After a short lesson, a teacher may have learners get into pairs or dyads. Dyads, it's like collaborative work between two people for a discussion of the topic. Find a new place to sit or move from indoors to outdoors. That will be a state change as well. State changes can be more subtle, such as changes in vocal intonations. Creo que esto es algo que yo hago mucho, but it's like, hey, hello, and then I slow down a little bit, and then I go back to the pace, and then I get excited, and then I think that was one of the most valuable suggestions or feedbacks that I have received so far. You're a teacher, I get it, but you're also like a facilitator. You're like a salesman, like a saleswoman. You're offering a product here. You're trying to sell the car, the surutuneao. You're trying to sell it. So come on, people, use your whole outcome. Use your whole body and resources to put it into practice and let your client enjoy what they are watching, what they are experiencing, what they are working with. Those are your clients, your students. So it's like a very effective analogy. You have to be moving from direction to something else. Let's go back to the board now. We're gonna make an interaction activity and we're gonna have a storytelling. State change can be emotional or physical. You can change the state of mind of your students with a song. You can let them be relaxed or stress-free within taking 20 seconds or listening to a piano song or a piano background. You can have them working in their favorite task or in their activities with their favorite music. That will be as well valid. They can involve music, humor, activities, tactical elements like the ball. Like I remember I had one teacher in the master's degree. She used to have like this ball all the time, and she will tell us like, okay, this is a stress-free ball, so I'm just gonna be passing it around the classroom. If you feel like this is getting too much, like I'm tired, like I don't want to do the work, I don't want to pay attention, just ask for the ball. I'm just gonna pass it out, and when it comes to your hands, stay there for a bit and remember, this is not going to be forever. I know you are tired, I know you are stressed, but have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, and as you are squeezing like squish all like the tension ball, remember you can do this. There is a reason you are doing this, so let's move on. And it actually worked. Well, for me, it worked several times. Props, icebreaker activities. We're going to move to that. Or any novel instructional methods. The ones that I'm sharing with you are the ones that I use. We're going with another Jamboard. Yes. Okay. Don't forget about the teams, okay? Listen up, people. On the first round, we're going to have rounds. On the first round, we're going to have Luis Fernando, Hania, Nancy Patricia, and Daphne. Are you ready, people? Are you ready? Yes? Can I hear a yes, teacher? We're ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to win for my team, for the
Teacher,
honor. Yes.
I don't know if you read my message on the chat, but I had to go for a little bit because I had to pick up my sister. So I didn't hear what was the activity.
Okay. Don't worry. Okay. Who are you? Are you Hania?
No, I'm Daphne.
Daphne, don't sweat it. It's going to be quite simple. So you can do it. Okay.
Okay.
So Luis, Hania, Nancy, and Daphne, you are ready and you are going to compete for the first point for your team. This is life or death. What are we going to work with? First things first. I'm gonna share a Jamboard with you. And let me just open it. On this one, just wait inside the Jamboard. En esta sí, espérense dentro del Jamboard y ahorita esperamos las instrucciones, okay? Don't go on too fast. So we're just gonna go with this one. Talking about the state brains and changing from one to another one, this particular activity, it has helped me, or is quite effective because the changing mood or the pace of the activity goes really, 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 really fast. And it's actually quite fun. So I just want you to remember, Luis Fernando, Hania, Nancy, and Daphne, what are you going to do? You have this column beautifully drawn by me, quite straight. And this is going to be your space to write the challenge, to write what I'm going to ask you to write. Okay? Yes? And so with the rest. Cuando a ustedes les toque participar por su equipo, este será el espacio donde podrán escribir. Yes? And who's going to get the point? The one sentence that is built first. All right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, let me just... Oh, God, where is it? Oh, it's here. Let me just go with the slides because I need the deck slide to share with you. I forgot to upload it. Give me 1 second. So this is going to be the presentation. Yes? What are the commands or what are the instructions? Ustedes ahorita, esto igual lo estoy recreando aquí porque no estamos de manera presencial. But on the video call, you're gonna be watching to the task, to the challenge. Yes, and at the same time, you have to be aware of the Jamboard, because that's the place you ask to perform the challenge for your team. Yes, so as I told you, the first runners, los primeros en participar, Luis Fernando, Hania, Nancy Patricia, and Daphne, looking the honor for number 1, 2, and 3, and 4 teams. This is the challenge for you, my friends. You're going to watch and you're going to be able to read isolated information that is going to help you to write a sentence about something. Now, the question is, what is going to be our topic? We're going to talk about celebrities. Well, not celebrities, like famous people. Yes. And that's why we have like the whole what are you doing here? Okay. That's why we have the whole Hollywood background over here. All right. So let's go with challenge number 1. Just make sure to write the sentence in the appropriate line for your team. This is Fast and the Furious Crossroads. Type as fast as you can. Take a look to this one. Like the first task for your students will be like, oh my God, who the hell is that guy? Okay, I'm going to show you the name, the written name, but first you can detonate or activate that euphoria or emotion on your students, like, oh, it's the dude from Facebook. Okay, what's the name? What's the name? Like, come on, you spend 107 days on Facebook and you don't even know the name of the owner. Okay, so we go on. Mark Zuckerberg, 35, American. Vanessa, I'm sorry, Luis Fernando, Hania, Nancy, and Daphne, can you give me a sentence with that information?
Yes, Mark Zuckerberg is an American who is.
Write it on the Jamboard. Write it on the
Sorry,
Jamboard.
teacher, sorry.
Ándale, ya le diste la respuesta a los demás. There's no winner yet. Come on. Use the information from the slides. Use the information from the slides. Keep it simple. Dude, number 3. No, I didn't even give you like the birth date. I'm giving you the information on the slides. Well, if you were born in USA, you are an American, of course. Well, not always. You can have different nationality. Mark Zuckerberg is American and 35 years old. Number 1, you're done. Leave it like that. Oh, okay. Can you read your sentence, Luis Fernando, please?
Yes. Mark Zuckerberg is an American and 35 years old.
Mark Zuckerberg is American and 35 years old. Mark Zuckerberg is 35 years old and is American. Okay, you have like 3 different sentences. Okay, we're gonna give the point to team number 1. Mark Zuckerberg is American. He's 35 years old. So you have 1. Thank you. Can you erase the rest of it? Clear the space. Clear the space because we need why can I not erase this? Clear the area, people. Clear the area. Whoosh. Come on. We have upcoming people next. What about this one? Who's this one? All right. Who's next? Maria del Carmen for team number 1. Maria Jose, team number 2. Adrián, team number 3. And Mariana for team number 4. Are you ready?
Yes, teacher.
Got it. All right. We go on. Get ready for the information that I'm going to show you. People, I'm telling you, use only the information about a slide. Yo aquí no les puse que Mark Zuckerberg era Pisces. So don't do it, okay? Just the information on the slide. 3, 2, 1. Let's just take a moment to see if you identified the celebrity. Come on, this is like a piece of cake. Yes, piece of cake. There it is, there it is, there it is. Let's go to the Jamboard. Come on, people, come on.
By Europe on Amazon Music.
Oh my God. Number 3 is not complete. She is not Mexican at all. Number 4, I didn't give you any Cuba. Where do you take Cuba from? Camila Cabello is Mexican American and she's 25 years old. You got it, people. Camila Cabello is 22 years old. She is Mexican. She's American Mexican. She's American Mexican. Okay. Number 3 is going to be valid, but I think the correct way to say is Mexican American. That will be the one. Mexican American. Number 3, you are the winner of this round. Very good. Very, very nice. All right, people. I hope you have liked it so far. Can we do one more round? Let's go with round number 3. So, okay, Maria Jose, drop it. We're done. And I think the winner was, who was on number 3? The winner was Adrián. Congratulations on this one. You have 1 and 1. All right. Going back to the teams. Cynthia, Eribeth, Jorge Luis, Erika, and Ivan, are you ready?
Yes, teacher.
What about the rest? Are you ready?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, be ready. Once again, people, only use the information that is given on the slide, not anything else, only that. Keep it simple. All right, let's move on. I'm going to show you the celebrity picture first. Don't run. Just wait for the rest of the information. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. There you go. There you go. There you go. Let's see. This is for Cynthia, Jorge Luis, Erika, and Ivan. Come on, people. Come on. I have no Daniel Radcliffe, dude. I have Harry Potter. I can see number one. I can see. Harry Potter is British guy and he's 19. That's it. Okay, it was number one and number three at the same time. Harry Potter is British. He's 19 years old. Excellent. Yes. So, winners. Number one and number three. That was amazing.
Great.
Yes, very nice. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Give me 1 second. My computer is stuck. Oh my God, where is it? I got it. This is the next one.
Teacher,
But I haven't said the name of the students that are going to participate.
That's the idea.
Yes, wait for it. Let's go with team number one. Let's see. Carmen, team number two. Oh no, you have already participated or not?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, team number one, Vanessa. Team number two, Jocelyn. Team number three, Maria de Jesus. Team number four, Jesus. Are you ready?
yes.
Are you ready? Okay. Let me just play my music. It's like my particular background. This is the information. There you go. I'm not using any adjectives. Use the information from the slide.
What is information?
Teacher, only we saw the teams.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Come on, people. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Vanessa, Jocelyn, María de Jesús, or Jesús. Who will be the winner? What is that? What is that? It is a Martian. He is 145 years old. Yes, number 2, you got it. ET is 140 and Martian. This was good as well. Very nice. So the winner is Jocelyn from team number 2. Nice job. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Aquí todavía Vanessa se anda dando un tiro, but it's okay. It is a Martian. He's 140 years old. It is Martian and he's 140 years old. And Jesús también todavía anda en el equipo 4. E.T. Come on, Jesús. Cheer up. Cheer up. Good job. Don't sweat it. All right. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Let's go back to the content because it's 7 o'clock and we have still information that I want to share with you. So this was about the brain states. And this was trying to elucidate or to illustrate the states of mind that we as students get to experience when we might feel kind of motivated or inside a class that is attractive to us. Okay, so some facts about the brain states. Let me read for you these 6 quite important statements, and this is quite important. Remember this information when you are preparing your lesson plans. Okay, keep this in mind. All behaviors are dependent on one's current state. Teachers and teachers and teachers and teachers. The mood and the attitude and the persona that you put in front of your class, it's going to affect the hell out of everything you are about to perform and to do in your lesson. Your attitude, your energy, your emotions are a total and constant reflect on the amount of passion or the respect that you have for what you do. And if you have respect, it means that you enjoy it. Number 2, the path to engagement is through reading and managing states. Not reading like, let's go back to our book and read. No. You have to be all eyes all the time. Be aware of your surroundings as a teacher and be able to read your audience. Number 3, the longer anyone is in any state, the more stable that state becomes. If in your lesson plan you are looking to develop a state of mind that is going to help your students to work in a paragraph, to work in a reading activity, just ask yourself one question. Have you prepared the class for that? Have you set the pace and have you set the rhythm for that activity to develop or to perform in the way that you are expecting to perform or not? Number 4, the teacher's state is as important or more important than the student's state. Hay un libro muy rico y muy sustancioso si ustedes están metidos en esto del coaching o un tanto del awareness, que es toda esta ola nueva esta ideología nueva de literatura. Hay un libro que se llama The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. He is, I think, an author. I think he's from Sweden or from Germany. I'm not sure. I don't recall the nationality. But The Power of Now, it gives you like a whole glimpse of like being now, like being aware. Y es toda esta cultura de estar presentes en lo que estamos haciendo. Let me tell you something. You might have to read it if you get it. You might have to read it several times. Probablemente lo tengan que leer varias veces, but if you do have the chance to read it, trust me, people, it's going to help you a lot about what real consciousness and what is the nowness of the moment and what's the real meaning of being aware, de estar presentes. So I connected that idea because I think it has to do with this one. States usually last for seconds or minutes. Okay, states usually last for seconds or minutes, while moods last for hours or days. So it's a different thing. Your students are not necessarily going to be happy or delusive or stressed or sad, like from 1 minute to another one. That might change. Okay, but moods, it's like I think it's like the sense of doing something. For me, that will be a mood, like the idea or the sensation or the feeling that comes about doing what I'm doing. And that's the idea that's going to stay with me through the whole time. I don't know, call it hours or call it days. I think someone raised their hand. Eric, yes, go ahead.
Yes. In this last point, I didn't get the idea, but can you explain me some examples of it?
Number 5?
Yes, the states usually last for seconds or minutes, while most
The states usually last
for
for seconds. As an example, talking about the classroom, like let's not run into the idea that the excitement, Eric, it has to be like continuously all the time, because it has like a peak. It reaches some sort of level, and then it comes down, and it's natural. It's okay when that happens. But the sensation or the mood, the outcome of having experienced euphoria, enthusiasm, attention, scared, tension, and all that will give you a mood that stays with you for a longer time. Okay, and maybe it will be the sense of accomplishment, or maybe it will be the mood or the sense of being useful or being good for a specific subject or for a specific matter. Yes?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay, for me, taking this example into the classroom will be like, okay, I managed to have my students experiencing all these type of states, like these state changes through the whole class, and they experience lots of different states, but at the end, they feel part of the lesson and they feel like they managed. Maybe they failed in some of the activities. Tal vez algunos de ellos fallaron en algunas de las actividades durante la clase, pero tuvieron esta parte colaborativa, tuvieron esta parte reflexiva, etc. And what stays with them, Eric, is like the awareness or the el sabor de boca, I will use it in Spanish, that the class was good, that they were good, that they did something that was okay, and they managed to perform that task. And that's what remains with the students and stays with the student with a longer time. Okay. Number 6, we experience hundreds of states every day. Yes, so welcome to teaching, because it includes you and includes our students. And if you can check on the slide, this is like the average attention spans of elementary age children. If you're working on the pre-K stage, may you know that your kiddos can retain, and the attention span can last from 8 to 20 minutes, and it may vary a little bit until 5 and 6 years old. Talking about secondary or junior high years, we're talking that the lessons are that way because there's a reason in secondary school that the classes are going to be like 50 or 60 minutes long, because the students are able to remain present for that time. Talking about the attention span. Attention span, we identify it as el pico de atención o la retención de atención de nuestros estudiantes. Okay, so I think this information, to be honest, I haven't done a lot of research about it, but I think it's quite useful. So because maybe in that way we get to identify in which of the average minutes of attention span my students are, or where are they going to be when it's time for me to teach a class. So, creating conditions for an ESL atmosphere. We're going there. What's the whole reason of learning this or talking about this if I am a teacher, if I am an elementary teacher, if I am only interested in teaching English? Well, the mind states or the brain states are critical because brains can learn under extreme conditions, but complex learning, like the executive skills that I'm going to present to you in a few moments, the executive skills requires background knowledge, working memory, processing skills, long-term retrieval, and risk-taking. These all require positive learning states. El objetivo y el hecho de que en mi práctica yo me dé a la tarea de informarme o de educarme en el aspecto de la neurociencia sobre lo que es el brain state, cómo funcionan estos picos de atención, diferenciar bien entre un brain state y un mood, e identificar que puedo tener mi clase saturada de estímulos cambiantes de un momento a otro y no va a afectar el proceso cognitivo, al contrario, forma parte de un resultado más grande. Eso me permite entender entonces que este pace o este ritmo a la larga, por eso lo tenemos presente los perfiles de egreso, a la larga nos permite desarrollar estas que ustedes las deben de conocer, llamadas habilidades o herramientas ejecutivas del cerebro. Ahorita lo regreso un poco al tema de lo que estábamos hablando con, creo que lo estaba hablando al inicio con, no sé si fue, sí, creo que fue con Iván, sobre los efectos o lo que pasó en la pandemia. Permítame un momento. Sorry, I'm back. There was someone knocking on my door. Going back to this topic, talking about the states of mind and the critical matter of this, I was telling you about that. A la larga, el tener consciente en la práctica este tipo de ideas o este tipo de prácticas en nuestra enseñanza diaria nos permite abonar a la parte ejecutiva del cerebro que se desarrolla independientemente de la materia o del contenido que nosotros estemos desarrollando con nuestros alumnos. This particular slide and this particular image about the conscious discipline or the brain model, the brain always works as an integrated system of subsystems. The artificial distinctions of the conscious discipline brain model are only used to demonstrate the relationship between brain function and behavior. Ilustrativamente, como maestro, a mí me ayuda, o como profesor, a mí me ayuda a entender que en diferentes actividades o en diferentes momentos, el desempeño o el trabajo que yo haga en mi clase puede activar y puede abonar a esos tres subsistemas del cerebro: al survival state, al emotional state y al executive state. En todo momento, en mayor o en menor medida, pero salpican las actividades y el contenido que yo desarrolle con el chico a estos tres complementos o a estos tres subsistemas del cerebro, del aspecto funcional de un cerebro. Este modelo, como lo dice en la parte de abajo, son algunos de los estudiosos o de los teoristas que han hablado sobre el lóbulo prefrontal, el lóbulo, el stem brain, y no sé si sea límbico el término correcto en español, pero es Paul McLean, Bruce Perry, Daniel Siegel, Stephen Porch, Eitan Score y Joseph Ledoux. Son algunos de los que yo revisé. Es muy amplia la información, pero creo que de poco a poco ir integrando estos conocimientos en la práctica sí hace mucha diferencia cuando trabajas, y más en formación inicial como es el trabajo o será el trabajo de ustedes. Talking about the executive skills, hablando de las actividades ejecutivas, algo de lo que nos comentan estos teoristas sobre las actividades ejecutivas y que es esta problemática de la que hablábamos al inicio, el desarrollo de las habilidades ejecutivas en un cerebro que está en formación, o de un alumno de primaria o de preescolar o de secundaria, serán aquellas habilidades que le permitan o que le faciliten la inserción de estructura mental, de estructura motriz, de estructura física y de estructura cognitiva. La escuela, por excelencia, es el entorno ideal para el desarrollo de estas funciones ejecutivas. ¿Cuáles son? Planning, time management, working memory, self-control, perseverance, organization, task initiation, metacognition, attention, and flexibility. En el día a día y en el resumen de un año escolar, las habilidades ejecutivas se desarrollan de una manera natural y de una manera progresiva porque forman parte de un entorno escolar. Por eso, en una reciente conferencia que tuve la oportunidad de asistir, se hablaba de que el rezago ahorita en educación básica no se refiere al aspecto académico. No caigamos en el paradigma del absolutismo y en paradigmas cuadrados donde se entienda que hay rezago porque no se alcanzó a cubrir un programa, porque no se alcanzó a dar un tema. El real problema de los alumnos en la pospandemia es la falta, y sobre todo en los años de formación inicial, es la falta del desarrollo de las habilidades o de las herramientas ejecutivas, porque sin el espacio de la escuela como espacio generador de estas habilidades, no hay manera que el hogar donde estos niños y niñas regresaron a tomar la escuela pudiera estandarizarse para todos y que fuera entonces el entorno ideal para desarrollar aquellas habilidades ejecutivas. Es la gran brecha que existe ahorita. Se habla de brecha social en cuanto a la reincorporación de los alumnos porque cada quien experimentó el trabajo desde casa en medida de su nivel económico o su nivel social. Pero también hay una parte cognitiva y hay una parte neuronal que está en desfase y se refiere a esto, a las habilidades ejecutivas. Algo de las actividades más tangibles o de las acciones más específicas que las habilidades ejecutivas se hacían presentes en los alumnos al estar en el entorno de la clase, de la escuela. Keep a daily schedule posted, write homework in the same spot, teach and practice routines, give mini deadlines on projects, give time checks during working sessions, give organization time at the end of the class, explicitly state when important information is shared, integrate teaching with skills within the content, reduce distractions around the room, give brain breaks through the day, stock a classroom office, or let kids work through their challenges. A través de estas actividades que eran gestionadas por el profesor o la profesora, las habilidades y las herramientas ejecutivas del niño se seguían desarrollando, porque demandaban ciertas habilidades y actitudes que se repetían, se progresaban y se desarrollaban en el día a día. ¿Qué es lo que pasa? La escuela muda al hogar y el hogar no siempre es el ideal, ni siquiera a veces para vivir, mucho menos entonces para aprender, para desarrollar una cognición adecuada. Y creo que ahorita como maestros de educación básica es el primer problema que tenemos enfrente, ese tipo de rezago. All right, we're not gonna have time to do this, but I managed to create this other activity. So this is basically a Jeopardy game that it's online, and this will be useful for a pre-reading activity. En este caso les había preparado otro juego más, otra actividad más para hacer eco a esto que estamos revisando, que era una especie de Jeopardy en línea. El tema que había elegido sería el ideal para trabajar un pre-reading activity y sería también un aspecto colaborativo del trabajo con los mismos equipos que habíamos desarrollado. ¿Ok? We're going to skip it. Lo vamos a brincar, pero les voy a dejar el link para que si ustedes lo quieren jugar con alguien más o entre ustedes más adelante, be my guest. Finalmente, something that it's here. Let me just... que se movió un poco acá la información. Let me. The all-time best positive learning states. Ya entendimos entonces que un learning state como un brain state nos lleva a largo plazo a desarrollar este mood donde nos encontramos validados y reflejados en un proceso de enseñanza donde yo haya sido útil como alumno. Okay? And one of the outcomes of this is that we have to keep in mind that all-time best positive learning states will be anticipation, the excitement, confusion, like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. What's next? Can you tell me? Help me, please. Curiosity, skeptical, challenge, inquisitive, like I'm gonna do it, like it's my time, suspenseful, expectant, perplex, puzzle, and intrigue. These learning states, if I manage to have most of them or some of them during my lessons, from the student's point of view or from the student's experience, I can say that I'm doing a good job activating my student's brain if these learning states are present in my lesson. Okay. And finally, I wanted to show you this. Let's see if we can see it. Oh my God, maybe not. Let me find it. Okay, here it is. Otras de las actividades que yo les comparto, que uso bastante en mis clases y también cuando nos damos a la tarea de practicar en básica, es este canal que están viendo en YouTube, que se llama Dreams for Life. Pueden encontrar muchos canales de este programa. En específico es un programa de becas que se llama el programa Erasmus, es un programa en Europa. Y de ahí yo obtuve o he integrado yo a mi práctica el término energizers. Les quiero mostrar qué es un energizer. Este es el que les estaba mostrando en el video. Me avisan si se escucha, por favor. Can you hear?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
There is one more couple. And there is Celius and Nikki. Perfect. Yeah, roommates with the couple. Perfect. Augie, can you be my couple? My partner. Exactly, perfect. We will stand opposite to each other. And the first exercise will be to count to 3, which means I will say 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So, continue. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Some of you are really good, some of you struggle a bit. Let's make it a bit more complicated.
Teacher, se escucha doble.
We will continue counting, but instead of 1, we will clip.
Let me just, I don't know what's going on. Sorry. Okay, me avisas otra vez si has escuchado bien.
3, 2, 3.
No, teacher.
Okay.
Tal vez tiene que apagar su micrófono.
Okay.
It's better, teacher. Thank you.
Yes, I can see that you're experts. Excellent, excellent. So let's make it a bit more challenging. We will still use clipping for 1, but instead of 2, we will do this movement. Okay, so 3. 3. 3. Yes, go! 3. Amazing! You're experts. You're experts. So let's make the ultimate, challenge. And instead of 3, we'll clap on our hips, or not hips, legs. Thighs. Exactly. So how it will look like, huh? Yes! Go!
So yes, this is a perhaps 4 minutes activity that if you recall something like, am I going to be able to redirect this activity to my content of the lesson or something similar? Perhaps not all of the times, or maybe yes, if you find the correct vocabulary, because you can substitute numbers with something else. But the important matter here will be the level. I mean, you're watching this perform with already ESL teachers, and just take a look to appreciate the amount of engagement and attention and excitement on them. Just try to imagine performing this type of activities with your kids. Some of them will have to be more controlled than the other ones, but at the end of the day, a good energizer makes a whole difference and helps you out to set the rhythm for these brain state activities that we have checked during this lesson. Do you have any final comments on this? Ideas, questions?
Teacher, can you share us the name of the channel, please? Again?
Sure. I'll send you I'm gonna send you like the whole presentation today, and I'll send you the link from where I took it on YouTube. But
perfect. Thanks.
Just for now, this is the channel. Oh, sorry, it's this one, Eric. It's called Dreams for Life, and it's like another organization that was created from Erasmus, and it's about that. It's about teacher training programs and coaching programs. But you can find it like that. It's Dreams for Life. And if you give it a click on this stuff later on here, you're gonna find it here, like Energizer with objects. You have a yes and no but improvisation game. You have one word story, human photography. This is quite a cool game to do with your classes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Energizer. This is amazing. If you have the chance to use them in your classes. This one with the book short Energizer as well. This is quite simple, and it's also just oh god. So basically, you as the instructor, as the teacher, you give them 3 commands. You give them banana, orange, and apple. Banana means that they have to walk straight forward. I think apple means walking backwards. And I think orange means giving a 360 jump within the circle. So you're going to have the class doing something like this.
Banana. When I say banana, you jump backward. Banana.
Oh, yes.
Banana.
Banana.
Apple.
Apple.
Good. And the third fruit, which one was?
Orange.
When I say orange, you have to turn around 80 degrees.
580.
Orange.
Jump. So you change
The
direction.
That's not that important. You have just to turn around your direction, okay? So, back on the positions, back on the positions. No, this one. Like this. Let's say, orange. Orange is 180. Let's see, apple. Banana, orange. Good, just to remember. Okay.
Okay, that woman is lost. La maestra que está ahí está perdida, but I mean, that's the goal. Using these activities so you can check them. Well, just about to finish with my lesson for today. I'm going to explain to you. We have finished with this. We have finished with this energizer sample. We will be finished today's lesson, and now I want to explain to all of you the instructions for the work you're going to perform. So let's talk about the practicum, people. The practicum is going to be the final evidence that you are going to send to me in order to send your results to the GESUM, and in that way you will be able to receive a certificate with the amount of hours that these synchronous and asynchronous lessons represent for this course. So the practicum is going to be the next thing. Let me just prepare a video that I oh no, it's not ready yet. Well, I'll continue here. Well, what is the final task about your practicum? And I want you to start with these 3 questions. What is the best way to realize if we have learned something from this course? How can we show to ourselves we have developed some new teaching? I'm sorry for the grammar mistake over there. For then some new teaching skills and concepts. As teachers, we are creating new concepts since our students are unique, are awesome, and are perfect audience to put this into practice. Lo que quiero entender con el último punto es que, aunque hayamos revisado teorías que ya están establecidas, resultados que ya están comprobados, ejemplos de lo que se puede hacer, nada será tan único y tan nuevo como lo que ustedes puedan realizar con sus grupos de práctica o el grupo con el que lo vayan a aplicar, porque llegará a ser una audiencia totalmente diferente. What's the assignment then? The assignment is to review contents from the course using the approaches, the theories, or the techniques and the examples that we have seen. Identify, please, what best suits you for your teaching scenario. Identifiquen, por favor, qué es lo que realmente aplica en la inmediatez que tengan para desarrollar este video. Están con un grupo de práctica, están por empezar la práctica, pueden regresar a una escuela a aplicarlo, tienen un entorno un poco más limitado, lo pueden aplicar con un grupo de alumnos, lo pueden aplicar con un grupo en la familia. Those are your choices. Opciones hay para que se pueda aplicar. Obviamente lo ideal es que lo desarrollen en el espacio académico donde ustedes han puesto en marcha su práctica, ¿ok? En posibilidad de lo que ustedes puedan. Elaborate a short practice where you will be able to produce learning experiences for your students through a specific activity related to the topics on this course. Sorry, give me 1 second. Make sure to integrate comments, input, new questions, conclusions as part of the learning moment. Es importante que a lo largo del video que ustedes desarrollen, agreguen comentarios de qué es lo que están elaborando para darle un poco más del sustento, que es el theoretical framework y que tiene que ser evidente en el video. Record this learning activity for assessment purposes only. El video que ustedes elaboren o la práctica corta que ustedes realicen con la actividad que ustedes decidan se va a grabar únicamente con fines evaluativos, no va a ser de dominio público, solamente yo voy a evaluarlos y esa será la dinámica. You have to upload your work and I recommend, if you do have a YouTube channel, si es que ustedes ya tienen un canal de YouTube, lo pueden cargar ahí y si desean que sea la vista privada únicamente para mí, les comparto el correo donde me pueden agregar y no hay ningún problema. What about the assessment and the deadline? The ideal length for the video will be between 10 and 15 minutes. Una duración ideal para un tipo de trabajo con una sola actividad a desarrollarse da para entre 10 y 15 minutos. Acuérdate que es una práctica reducida, es una actividad aplicada. You can add complementary notes like slides. Lo puedes complementar con lo que te comentaba, diapositivas, subtítulos, or feature comments during the video. The deadline for this task will be December the 16th. La fecha de entrega para este producto final es el próximo jueves. Because your scores will be sent to the GESUM by Friday, December 17th. That's the only reason. That's the reason I'm not allowed to give you more time. The deadline is December the 16th because on the 17th, I'm going to send your final scores and that will be in the matter of morning time. So just take that into account. And what I managed to do is that I'm going to leave to you guys an example of what I did for one similar course. Let me check if I can show it to you. Lo que hice fue que rescaté un video que en algún curso también de CLT llegué a desarrollar a manera de un sample del trabajo que hacía o de la práctica que hacía con uno de mis grupos en la escuela normal. And I'm going to try to share it with you. Voy a tratar de compartirlo ahorita con ustedes para que quede más clara la idea de lo que les estoy pidiendo. Déjenme ver nada más. Me avisan, por favor, si pueden escuchar en el video.
No, teacher, no se escucha.
The thing is, creo que como lo intento reproducir desde pantalla compartida no me permite. Ok. Denme un segundo. Oh, ok, you know what? Voy a tratar de cambiar el setting de aquí del audio y por favor me ponen en el chat si ya se puede escuchar. Voy a tratar de hacer esa configuración. Vamos a-
Yes, teacher.
Favorite city? Brazil. Or here? Argentina. Well, Argentina is a country. New York, that's a city. Very good. Anything else? No? Not Mexican. What's your favorite culture? England. Scotland. Ah, it's not S, it's Scotland. Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland. Wales. With the map that I gave you, you can answer your question number 2 on this photocopy. And it's going to be exactly the same names. England, Scotland, Wales.
There are 4 different countries in the UK: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Got it?
The capital of Wales.
Once again.
But only 2: Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Now, he's learning to speak Welsh, a different language. Yes? Right. We go. Number 4.
I have friends all around the UK. I visit them every year. First, I crossed the Irish Sea to visit Robert in Northern Ireland. He's Polish and his...
Number 4. Dave visited his friends in Northern Ireland every year. That's a yes information. He just mentioned it here. Excellent, class.
Wife Nora is Irish. The capital of Northern Ireland is Belfast.
Belfast, that's all right, class. That was like a preview of what I prepared for this class. And don't worry, I'll share the video with you once it's uploaded on YouTube. I'll share you the link. And well, that's kind of the outcome of the course that I'm expecting to receive from you. Do you have any questions about this? Anyone?
Teacher,
Yes.
if we just put subtitles in the video and not good the video, because I pretty bad good videos.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah, don't worry. Cynthia, what I want you to worry at most about is like selecting the correct activity for the class you are going to work with. So That's like the outcome of this. I'm not assessing your English here, okay? This is not an activity to assess your English proficiency. Esto no es una actividad para evaluar su dominio del inglés, su pronunciación, etc. I mean, it is important, of course, but the rubric, it's integrated in terms of if I am able to watch and to see some of the approaches or the theories we check on this course, and you have applied it into your practice. Yes, Karen.
Teacher, the video must has to be recorded in our practicum schools, right?
The ideal scenario will be to do this in your practica, in your school, your practicum school. Yes.
If I have some issues with that, could I don't know, to add pictures or something like that? I tried to ask about to recording the video, but I don't know if it's possible.
Where are you doing your practicum? Is it preschool or is it secondary?
As secondary, but the last time I remember that my partner do that, and the principal tell us that it was not like possible. So I don't know, or adding pictures, or I tried to.
Well, let me share. That will be I mean, the ideal is to watch you like the live performance of your work, right? But maybe a plan B, Karen, will be asking some students of your class if they can, if they accept to help you in a specific activity, and maybe you can work with parenting signatures like an approval or something like that. Well, let's just not like anticipate. Ask about this and let's see what they tell you about it. Hopefully it will work out well, but if not, you let me know. Will you be able to let me know by Monday?
Yes, teacher. On Monday I went to my practicum school, so I asked from Monday.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Anytime. Anyone else?
Teacher.
Yes.
No sé cómo decirlo en español.
Dime.
Pero yo no puedo hacer ese tipo de contenidos porque yo no estoy manejando las clases en línea, digo presenciales.
Ajá.
Y no estoy teniendo clases en línea por videollamada con los alumnos por el nivel económico el cual están en esa primaria. El único que estoy manejando son trabajos mandados a un grupo de WhatsApp o Facebook, sí, y me hacen llegar fotos. Las clases virtuales están manejando ahorita un modo para que en enero se pueda llevar a cabo eso, y si no, llevar ya presencial, porque ahorita la única comunicación que tengo es con los papás por WhatsApp, y las tareas o con los niños es simplemente un archivo que se manda, una foto, ellos la imprimen de alguna forma y me la mandan en foto. No estoy teniendo clases presenciales ni clases por videollamada. Entonces para mí se me hace un tanto complicado grabar el video porque no tengo contacto con los alumnos en sí.
Bueno, te propongo dos cosas para el lunes también, que me avises igual que Karen. ¿Cuál sería entonces el híbrido de actividad que puedas elaborar a partir de esto que estoy compartiendo con ustedes desde la modalidad que tú estás manejando? También puede haber algo también de recurso aplicado sobre los contenidos que hemos visto. Solamente sería elaborarlo, Fernando. Y la otra opción sería que también te des a la tarea con tus niños de primaria, si hubiera 4 o 5 niños que te puedan ayudar en el desarrollo de una actividad, que puedan estar conectados y que puedas grabar la videosesión. ¿Sería ese plan o de gestionarlo con algunos de los papás? Revísalo y el lunes también me avisas qué onda.
Sí, de igual forma, voy a tratar de contactar a algunos alumnos que son los que más
estén en posibilidad, claro,
de asistir, porque yo sí estoy asistiendo a la primaria, pero que me puedan echar la mano en eso de que vayan a la primaria y pues impartir esa clase.
Vale.
Sí, como quiera le paso yo el dato.
Sí, nada más te encargo, por favor, que sea también el mismo lunes, pero estaría
Sí.
excelente poder ver tu trabajo con los niños.
Sí, claro que sí.
All right. ¿Alguien más? Anyone else?
Yo, teacher.
Yes.
El problema es que en la escuela donde estoy llevando a cabo mis prácticas, que estas son 2 semanas, pues solo son 2 días y el profesor nada más me dio a mí un día para pues, impartir las clases, y dentro de las materias que él lleva no se toca la materia de inglés. Entonces lo que yo ya llevaba pensando durante un tiempo era ver si se puede pues, impartir o grabar el video de la práctica con mis compañeros pues, de mi escuela, porque ellos sí llevan la materia de inglés, pero pues, obviamente es un nivel un poquito más básico. Entonces quiero pensar que la actividad que pues, les voy a implementar se va a ajustar más o menos al nivel que ellos pues, están apenas llevando. No sé si
Adelante, Adrián, sin problema. Si va encaminado también a que trabajes con un público donde tú les puedas ayudar con el desarrollo del inglés, pues creo que eso es lo ideal.
Sí, y otro, pues como estoy en la jornada de prácticas, pues no estoy asistiendo a la escuela, o sea, a mi escuela presencialmente. Pues, entonces, pues, sería una sesión, ahora sí que en línea. No sé
Adelante.
si... Okay.
No hay ningún problema. Aquí, como le comentaba a Adrián ahorita, en cuanto les entregue la rúbrica, el objetivo de la sesión presencial, que también yo lo tomé en cuenta cuando estaba desarrollando el curso, es que algunos de ustedes estarían en esa modalidad, pero también así como me di yo a la tarea de implementar algunas actividades con alguna justificación, creo que también ustedes tienen la capacidad para elaborar algo similar y no habría ningún problema.
Ok, teacher, gracias.
Por nada. Sí, ¿quién está acá? Nancy, adelante.
Sí, teacher. Bueno, mi situación es algo similar a la de mis compañeros. De igual manera, yo estoy en 7º semestre, pero mi periodo de prácticas terminó en noviembre. Entonces, ahorita yo no estoy practicando ni estoy yendo, yo soy de preescolar, entonces no estoy yendo ni a practicar al jardín ni nada y no tengo contacto con mis alumnos. Entonces, pues sí, me encuentro en esa misma situación. No sé si pueda practicarlo con mi familia o aquí con otras personas.
¿Y qué tal tus compañeras de Presco? ¿No se puede?
Bueno, ahorita por la situación, por ejemplo, nosotras ya casi no nos frecuentamos porque únicamente estamos enfocadas en nuestro trabajo de titulación. Y ya, de hecho, ya salimos casi que de vacaciones, únicamente cada quien ya está enfocada en su trabajo.
Correcto. Igual y revísalo el fin de semana y la audiencia que tú decidas elaborar, avísame el lunes cómo va a quedar. ¿Sale?
Muy bien, profe, muchísimas gracias.
No, a ti. Eric.
Sí, profe, también, bueno, junto con una de mis compañeras, que está aquí igual presente, tenemos la misma situación. Justo hoy acabó nuestro periodo de prácticas y la siguiente semana nosotros aún nos presentamos a la escuela. Somos de 5º semestre. Entonces me preguntaba si podríamos hacerlo con nuestros compañeros de la normal o con algunos familiares. No sé si sería la posibilidad.
Yo creo que primero nos vamos a agotar el recurso de que sea con tus compañeros de clase y no te agarres a tus compas, agárrate a los que les vaya a servir la actividad.
Ok, vale.
Porque
lo voy a intentar.
Es que como este curso ya lo he dado, me ha sucedido esto, que entonces me mandan los videos con el grupo de amigos, pero la clase hasta les ha afectado a ustedes al momento de impartir la actividad, porque no hay como esa seriedad para elaborar la actividad. No sé si me explique. Entonces,
okay, vale. Sí,
solamente tener cuidado con esa parte, ¿ok? Y si hay presencialidad en tu escuela normal y hay personas de otras licenciaturas que te pudieran ayudar, que no convivas tú tantos con ellos y que apliques esta actividad, creo que todavía sería aún mejor, porque es un resultado, es una actividad más de control con el público con el que tú vayas a trabajar, ¿ok?
Vale, profe, está bien, gracias.
All right. Sí, Daphne.
Profe, bueno, lo mismo que mis compañeros. Mis prácticas terminaron hace 2 semanas, el 24 de noviembre, entonces pues yo ya no voy a la escuela, digo, a las primarias, pero ve que le comentaba yo al inicio que yo doy clases de inglés. ¿Puedo hacer el video con mis alumnos?
Sure.
O sea, online.
Sin
¿Sí?
problema,
Ok.
sin problema.
Perfecto, gracias, maestro.
Por nada. ¿Quién? María José. Espérame, Aileen está ya también acá, la había visto.
Sí, maestro. También, como mis compañeros, igual, mis prácticas, yo soy de quinto semestre, nuestras prácticas ya acabaron la semana pasada, entonces igual nosotros ya no estamos trabajando con los niños, yo soy de preescolar y entonces sí, igual en mis prácticas no trabajaba yo como tal en línea, así por medio de Zoom o Meet. Enviaba yo videos, entonces, ¿será que yo podría trabajar con mis compañeras en la normal? Mis compañeras de la normal.
La misma recomendación que le hacía ahorita a tu compañero, que es tratar de que sea un público que también sea nuevo para nosotros, para que tenga mayor conducción el resultado.
Ah, qué maestro, sí. Pero no habría problema, ¿verdad?
No, no hay problema. La evaluación yo la realizo en base a la evidencia tal cual. Ya el público no lo controlo yo, ni tampoco ustedes con esto de la filmación o no filmación, presencialidad o no. Entonces, por eso no hay ningún problema.
Gracias, maestro.
Por eso, a toda costa, creo que la mayor parte que estoy evitando es que sea con sus familias, porque ahí sí ya sería como, creo que sería algo un poco más sencillo y no, a lo mejor no obtendré tanto feedback para ustedes.
Otra preguntita, maestro, ¿tendríamos que grabar, toda la clase completa?
No, les estoy pidiendo en las indicaciones la aplicación de una actividad, así como lo verás ya lo verás en el video que les deje yo en YouTube, es la evidencia que yo elaboré. Aileen tiene duración, creo que son 14, 15 minutos más o menos. Por eso les estoy dando una duración de entre 10 y 15.
Ok, gracias, maestra.
María José.
Sí, buenas noches. Yo también tengo una situación como mi compañera había comentado que en el jardín, pues no nos dejan grabar.
Ajá.
A lo mejor solamente con fotografías, pero pues en el fin de semana le preguntaría a mi educadora, porque estoy en preescolar y si me da permiso de grabar, pues sí, podría entregar el video, pero si no, puedo entregar con fotografías.
Con fotografías está un poquito más complicado porque no me sirve la rúbrica, María José, para poderte evaluar. Entonces, platícalo con tu titular y me avisas el lunes a ver qué opción vemos, ¿no?
Sí, muchas gracias.
Pero tú dile que estás muy emocionada porque tuviste un curso que te gustó mucho y que ojalá te dé permiso. Dile que estaba aquí llorando yo junto contigo.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Ok. Jorge Luis.
Sí, buenas noches, profe. Tengo la misma situación que mi compañera María José. Yo sí estoy en jornada de práctica, de hecho mi jornada termina la próxima semana, pero lo que tengo duda, bueno, mi escuela no me permite como que grabar ni tomar fotografías de los niños por ciertas cuestiones. Entonces, lo que estaba pensando es si no habría problema, bueno, si lo podría grabar con otras personas. Igual de todas maneras voy a gestionar con mi tutor de grupo si es que lo puedo realizar, porque en ese sentido sí mi escuela es como que muy reservada con esos aspectos de grabar en clases.
Entiendo.
Pero pues quiero pensar que si lo hablo con mi tutor y con la directora, pues siento que sí lo podría hacer, o incluso lo podría hacer con la teacher que está impartiendo clases en mi escuela, porque los niños tienen una teacher en la escuela. Entonces siento que podría hablar con ella también si es que me puede otorgar unos minutos, que yo espero que sí, y pues ya, ya podría grabarlo con mis alumnos que estoy impartiendo clases ahorita.
Entonces, adelante, y también estoy tomando nota de quienes me están diciendo ahorita. También quedo a la espera de que tú me avises cuál es la gestión ahí con tu escuela. Y les voy a dar una sugerencia. Planteen la necesidad de hacer el producto con el único objetivo que es un curso que están tomando para incrementar su expediente ante el UCICAM. Entonces, que mientras vaya encaminado desde esa arista, espero que se facilite más la gestión.
Sí, profe, muchas gracias.
No, a ti. Fernando.
Profe, perdón, otra duda, la última. La rúbrica y todas las instrucciones y todo lo que ahorita nos estaba diciendo, ¿también lo va a volver a poner en Classroom?
Todo, todito.
Ok, bueno, eso era lo único. Gracias, profe.
Por nada. Valeria.
Teacher, lo que pasa es que yo inicio mis prácticas hasta enero porque en mi ciudad pues todavía están con las medidas de COVID. Entonces, no tengo contacto todavía con el grupo con el que voy a practicar, pero tengo una hermana que está en nivel secundario, no sé si podría pedirle a ella de favor que con sus compañeros me dejen practicar, pues sería ahí pero en línea, porque presencial pues no se puede aquí.
Con sus
Compañeros de salón, ajá, omitiéndola a ella porque pues dice que en familia no.
Ok, entonces sería con alumnos de licenciatura.
Con alumnos de secundaria.
Con alumnos de
Si
secundaria.
es que usted está de acuerdo, pero no es con el grupo con el que voy a practicar.
Déjame nada más, estoy tomando nota. Adelante, Valeria, nada más te pido que me confirmes el lunes.
Ok, está bien. Gracias, teacher.
No, a ti. Ok, entonces voy a responder acá lo que estuvieron preguntando. My practice and studying is forbidden to feel children with my cousins. Con los primos, la práctica con los primos, Mariana, ¿qué tal con los compañeros de licenciatura? ¿O qué tal gestionar un día de la próxima semana con tus niños? Que esa sea la primera opción a agotar. Y me avisas, por favor. ¿Cuántas personas pueden ser por audiencia? Pues tomando en cuenta que el tipo de actividad estamos hablando de entre mínimo que tengan un público de 5 alumnos, 5 alumnas, ¿ok? Entre más nutrida esté el público, pues la actividad se desarrolla mejor. Sí, Mariana, preguntar primero con tu maestra a ver qué onda. El audio, pues no, porque me voy a tener que estar imaginando todo. Entonces, pues no te voy a ver. Sí, correcto. Bien, entonces, we're done with this. Terminamos con esto. Algunos de ustedes tienen en su extensión de Google Meet el Flipgrid, que es para ver todas las cámaras encendidas. Que es, I just realized, me di cuenta que en esta cuenta de Gmail no lo tengo. ¿Alguno de ustedes lo tiene?
Sí.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Entonces, les pido por favor si pueden activar sus cámaras, que es la última evidencia que me piden a mí en mi departamento de docencia. Y quiero tomar si me ayudan a tomar una captura a quienes tienen el Flipgrid, que es la extensión que te ayuda a ver todas las cámaras en display, y que me manden las capturas en WhatsApp para que no me vayan a regañar, que no tomé mi captura. Por favor. Entonces, los que tienen Flipgrid, avísenos cuando vayan a tomar la captura para poner cara de que estamos muy contentos. Should I count? Entonces cuento. 3, 2, 1. Ready. 3. ¿Ya están todos con su cámara? Yes. 3, 2, 1. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Pues muchas gracias a todos, de todas las locuras que dije, que pues es lo que yo hago. Espero que algo les sea útil en mayor o menor medida. Y mucho éxito a todos en su recta final, los que están en séptimo. Qué emoción y qué privilegio estar ya en la recta final, porque cuando estén trabajando van a querer estar en octavo otra vez, aunque estén llorando con la tesis ahorita. Los que estén en quinto o en otro semestre, toda mi admiración de que desde ahorita, desde quinto, tengan el interés de escuchar la docencia de otros lados, de otros estados, otras maneras de trabajar. Y les comparto personalmente que me fue muy grato trabajar con ustedes, sobre todo porque este aspecto de compartir y comunicar en inglés, pues pocas veces se da en el centro de trabajo donde yo estoy, y es muy enriquecedor escuchar a futuros teachers y futuras teachers que desde ahorita tienen ese interés por prepararse. Entonces, desde acá, desde el norte de México, les mando un abrazo a todos. Muchísimas gracias por su tiempo cada viernes. Y pues ya cuando anden ahí de directoras, directores, supervisores de zona, acuérdense del teacher Humberto para que me manden ahí a hablar, a visitarlos o algo. Y nada, a todas y a todos un gran abrazo y muchísimas gracias por su tiempo. Have a blast. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the efforts.
teacher. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, teacher. See you.
See you. Have a great
See
week.
you.
Thank you.
See you, teacher. Thank you for all.
Thanks to you. Thank you.